Welcome to Diaspora Connect. We are finally here another Saturday to connect us with our loved ones from across the world. So if you need some connection, if you need yourself, that nice love that you've been missing, well, we have all your loved ones here. Welcome, my name is Neville. I'm your host today. You can follow me at that Neville. Hey, na leo ni leo, asema kesho ni muongo. It's a special Mother's Day episode just for you. And leo tutakuwa tukiconnect with all the amazing mothers from across the world, because we know mothers are the backbone. And without your backbone, movement and you getting to all those good things becomes a tough time. But since we are talking about Mother's Day, let me give you a bit of a taste of what around the world when we do Mother's Day. This episode of Diaspora Connect, we celebrate her, the giver, the nurturer, and the one who always shows up for us. In Kenya, she's the matriarch holding the home together, balancing home with the hustle, whether small or as captains in industries. In Germany, she's walking to work in the cold or at the train station, lunch-packed, head high, ready to conquer the world. In Thailand, she serves love with every plate, teaching without needing words, crafting the next world leaders. In the UK, she's on the grind, dropping kids, picking extra shifts, keeping it moving with quiet strength through the hardships. In the US, she's a bridge to a brighter future between cultures, generations, and those I miss home moments, the anchor to our emotions. And in the Gulf, she's the provider, holding down the family back home through her offshore contribution, dreams in motion, work in action. Different places, different languages, different obstacles. Same role, same power, same love, same determination. To all the mothers across the map, happy Mother's Day. You are the heart of it all. Yeah. Yes, and for sure you are the heart of it all. Special Mother's Day episode right here on DC and Diaspora Connect. So, if we're talking about connections, lazima to introduce social media. Yes, remember our hashtags are real simple. Diaspora Connect. Especially when you go on over to X, or if you love Twitter, unaweza tupata pale at Citizen TV Kenya. Utupate pale hashtag Diaspora Connect. Let us know where you're tuned in from. Let us know we can connect you to. And si hapo tu peke, we also have our WhatsApp number. And our WhatsApp number is really important because that's where you connect with your loved ones from across the world. So to send your salams, it's real simple. Take out your phone, put it in landscape mode so that when we put it on TV, the whole world gets to see your amazing face. Sindio? So when you send it to my WhatsApp number, send your videos, send your messages so that tukikisha connect, tunakufikisha pale unafaa. Sindio? Make sure you make that happen on our WhatsApp line. And also, if you've been with us, we've been here for a long time, many Saturdays, connecting Kenyans with everything happening around the world. Last week, we had a man like Pius all the way from the Big Apple, yani New York, and he connected with his girlfriend, and I'm sure we'll be having a marriage real soon. And also, if you forgot, we had a lot more, and this week, it even gets better. These are our highlights. On Diaspora Connect tonight, Ivy Winfrey, a Kenyan voice advocating for youth and women in sports. Christine Okello, a Kenyan mom who is inspiring everyone from Boston. Oscar Kibe, a Kenyan athlete triumphing the Kenyan flag from Missouri in the US of A. Stanley Waidaka from Tokyo, Japan, gracing the tracks and flying the Kenyan flag high. Susan Knapp, an Australian mom investor and currently relocating to the motherland. And on the ones and twos, DJ Maureen Kings spinning the night away right here in studio. As you can tell, the show is on fire, and we need you to connect with us because you are the most important person on the show. Hashtag Itembee Sana Sasa, especially watu wangu wa X, our community there, and we also have our Instagram page. Sasa sikizeni vizuri, hapa ndo unaweza tutumia hizo direct messages, maneno ikuwe sawa. So at Diaspora Connect KE, that is the only page you need to be following. Able to tumie DM sai, let us know where you're tuned in from, or if kama pia uko majuu, who you wanna, connect with. Jusini nusu ya kuonana ndio Diaspora Connect. Also, unataka kuwa na place where tuna chill down, tuna have conversations, tunaongea kuhusu culture, na pia tuna connect. Jusini Diaspora Connect. So today on the hangout, I have someone who is amazing when it comes to, teaching, when it comes to investing, when it comes to everything Kenyan and back home. This is the perfect example, and her name is Susan Knapp, and she's up in the place. Susan, can you wave at us? She looks so good. I love it. So as you can tell, kila kitu iko set, maneno iko shwari, ni wewe tu sasa uconnect na sisi. Hashtag ni ile Diaspora Connect, alafu tuko na ile kitu inaitwa salam. So make sure utume salam zako. Our WhatsApp line is on your screen right now. Send in all those videos so that when we play them to the rest of the world, tunajinai sana. And talking about salams, kuna wazuri wetu wako Qatar, Doha. Ebu sikiza hizi salams.
Mo from Nanyuki,
Jane from Kikuyu, Wakesha from Taita,
Sami G from Nanyuki,
Nyambu from Thika, Kevin from Kiambu,
Mary from Kasarani,
Catherine from Muranga,
Sam from Thika,
Cliff from Vihiga, Zach from Kiambu.
We, the members of the Masai in Qatar, we wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day 2025. Yay!
As you can see, watu wetu wa Doha, Qatar wametuma salamu zao kwa wengi. Kenyans, we need you out here. So make sure you send your salam so that we connect you to everyone from across the world. Juu unajua manze, hii maneno ya connecting ukikuja hapa manze, unajua nusu ya kuonana. Yes. And talking about nusu ya kuonana, I want us to, talk about things that, inspire us, especially when we go out there. Because as we said, Diaspora Connect is all about Kenyan stories and also Kenyans who are, conquering it outside there in the world, doing amazingly well, raising that flag high and direct. And right now, I want us to go all the way to Boston and talk to Christine. Christine, heya, mambo vipi?
Mambo poa.
Hapo sawa manze. What time is it? And tell me where you are ndio Wakenya wakutambue.
It's 3:30 p.m. over here.
I like that. 3:30 p.m.
Yeah,
I like that.
3:30. Na niko Boston, Massachusetts.
I love it. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell me about your typical day in Boston. Unajua kama leo haungekuwa unakuja hapa kwa TV on a Saturday, what would you be up to, Christine?
So my typical day, kama singekuwa nakuja hapa, ningekuwa na my son's soccer activity. Anaenda soccer, so wako na mechi, wanakuanga na mechi on Saturdays 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. So my neighbor, who is my friend, opted to take him instead.
Ah, nice.
And many other activities, yeah.
That's amazing. Anacheza position gani pale kwenye uwanja?
And he's a midfielder.
Hey, Shanatesa mbaya. Wewe ni kama Bruno Fernandes wa Manchester United. Najua ako sawa kabisa. But thank you very much, Christine, for joining us. And, people are seeing your lovely face on screen. Wanashanga, hey, Christine alifikaje Boston? Ama alienda Boston kufanya nini? So maybe we can start from the genesis, Christine. How, tuambie maneno ya kuenda America, safari, and all those good things.
Okay. The way I came here because, just as in life inakumake. So life made me opt to come to America, and it was a big challenge because nilikuja hapa when I was, you're coming here as a mother and you have 4 kids, you understand. So it was kind of a big challenge, but yeah, I found myself in Boston. I chose here because I like the place. The weather is very cold, yes, but at least we have so many, amenities and so many activities, and the Kenyan community here is also very good.
Okay, I love that. You've talked about your family. First and foremost, happy Mother's Day. Let me ask you this. What's the best thing about being a mom?
The best thing about being a mom is just seeing your kids, you know, doing what they like, just seeing your kids, you know, carry themselves through life, you know, just seeing your kids going out there by themselves, you know, and taking care of themselves. You know, that's the best thing about being a mom, because that's the biggest fear too about being a mom.
Ah, so it's a combination. It's a bittersweet kind of moment.
Yes.
But I love the fact that you've talked about your kids. You've said you moved with your whole family. I want to ask you, how was it like? Because we know our culture back in the 254 is way different than how things are done in Boston. So was it a bit of being like, hey, will it work out raising my kids in a foreign land? Or were you optimistic, being like, yes, I want to take them there so that they can, you know, get better opportunity, etc.?
Yeah, I came with them here because, you know, like life back home, watoto wako wanaweza kwenda schooling, like, you know, they can go to school, wamalize college, but kupata kazi sio guarantee. And then mimi, being a mother that niko na watoto wengi, you understand, nilipiga hesabu nikajiambia, hawa watamaliza college, unalipa pesa mingi school fees, but guarantee yao ya maisha ya future iko wapi? You understand?
Yes.
But so when I came here, at least naona kama saizi, you know, some of my older kids are about to graduate college, you know, and they also have prospective, you know, like careers and prospective jobs. Sio kama vile nilikuwa nyumbani. But it's a very big challenge kukuja hapa as a single parent and na watoto. Very big challenge, because huku ukikuja unapata culture shock. Yani the way tuna discipline watoto nyumbani ni tofauti na vile tuna discipline watoto hapa. And then as a mother, hapa hivi, unajua back home tulikuwa tunaambiwa tukigrow, time is money, right? But hapa hivi is where it means time is money. Kama haufanyi kazi, haukuli. Usipofanya kazi, haulipi rent. Kama haufanyi kazi, there's nothing you can do. And you can imagine, you come here, you have your kids, and you have to provide, you have to do everything. Na pia lazima ufanye kazi. Na hapa hivi unafanya kazi per hour, right? So it's a very big challenge for a mother when you're coming here. You want to settle down, you want to settle your family, and you want them to have a good life. You don't want them to be left out in their school and everything that they do. So ni challenge kubwa sana. But you know what mothers do? You don't give up. You look at your kid's face, na unajiambia, I will go on, I will move on, you know. So yeah.
Ah, that's amazing. So, you know, you've talked about your kids are graduating soon. Ulienda na watu hii wakiwa kama age gani hivi? Like, ningependa kujua, cause as you said, huku tuna discipline very different from how they do it in Boston. And also the school system. Hapa tuko na yetu, au pia wako na yao. So, how was that like, na mulienda wakiwa miaka ngapi hivi?
So, when it comes to discipline, watoto wangu walikuwa wadogo. Mmoja alikuwa 18, mwingine alikuwa 15, na wengine kama the soccer player, I only have one boy, ako 10 years. So now this is my policy. It's not easy to kule culture yetu ni tofauti. Kule unajua discipline is the order of the, like it's like ni kitu tumezoea. But hapa hivi kuna extreme discipline, unaweza kuitiwa 911, social workers wakuje na. So you have to be very cautious. But for me, what the first policy niliweka, it's communication, and other than that, unaambia watoto wako. I told my kids, for me, niliwaambia, hii nyumba yangu hapa ndani ni Africa. Ukikanyaga nje ni America. So anything that we do inside Africa inabaki Africa. Ukitoka nje, enda ukafanya kitu yote unataka America. But so that's like, you know, it was giving me a way like, sasa nitaanzaje kudiscipline watoto. Huyu akitaka hii, huyu akitaka hii. And then the other culture, the other thing is that mtoto ako na right. Mtoto akwambia, mimi utaniambia, wanakuletea feelings, you know, me is like this. It's not easy.
I can imagine.
It's not easy, but you have to work it out. So for me, I did have a plan. Nilianza from before nikuje hapa, nilikuwa naongea na watoto wangu from wakiwa wadogo, communication, and I call a spade a spade. Ile kitu yote na mi sifichi mbele ya watoto wangu nikiwaongelesha, hata kama uko 10, 5 years, 2 years, ndakuongelesha nikuambie vile life iko and everything. So by the time I moved here, I think it was not very hard for me, but for any other parent, it can be very hard, very frustrating. What I told even my daughter, my 12-year-old Leo, nikamwambia, the shock is not even for the children. The shock is for the African parents. Yani unaangalia mtoto wako amefanya kitu na unashika hivi kichwa unajiambia, my goodness, I cannot discipline this child. I cannot do anything but this child. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
So yeah, so it's not easy. Like it's not kind of easy.
I definitely understand, and of course, from as you've said, the cultures are very different. But I like the fact that you've instilled your own kind of law. Hapa ni Africa, hapa ni Kenya. When you step outside the door, it becomes the United States of America. What other hacks or what other advice would you give, especially mothers, especially you've said single mothers or even parents who are planning on raising their kids abroad and bringing them back home?
Okay, the advice I can give, there are two advice I can give that single parent or a mother who is coming in and they want to raise their kids abroad. The first advice, and this is the biggest thing, and I believe that all my comrades in diaspora will say, whatever you do, whether you are single, you're dating, anything, as a mother, I'm talking about a mother because a mother is everything to their children, right? Anything that you do, you come here, there's everything. Number one, never, ever, ever miss to give your children a home, because all these things and everything will come, but you have to struggle and do what? Kama umekuja hapa, struggle, balance everything. And always remember this. That was my biggest fear when I came here. Afadhali tulale njaa, lakini tukue na mahali pa kulala. The second advice I will give is talk to them. Just talk. Talk to your kids. Call a spade a spade. Hii usiseme hii ni dudui, sijui ni nini. Talk, open wide. Ile akitoka kule nje, whatever they receive, ile kitu wakireceive, they will receive the same thing that you've been talking to them. So just open up and talk and talk and talk and talk. Don't go behind the bush. Just go call a spade a spade. Above all, the biggest one is when they're out there, what we can do as a parent is just pray for them, because we don't know who they're going to meet. We don't know what they're going to pick. So the biggest thing also is, like mine, 2 of them are outside already. So what I do is that I pray for them every day before I leave the house.
Wow, that is amazing. And let me just tell you also, as you know, as a child, prayer huwa inatuepusha mambo mengi sana. So your prayers haziendangi tu hivyo. So I'm sure wherever your children are, those little prayers you save for them, whether it's for security, whether it's for them to get a better opportunity, huwa zinafika. Hizo ni maombi moja najua. When mothers, when they pray, it always gets to where it needs to be. And also, talking of your children, here at Diaspora Connect, when you come here, inakuwaga nusu ya kuonana. And when we talk about that, I want your kids to send you some salams.
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy Tina, miles away. I still miss you. Best mother in the world. Mwah. I love you.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the world, specifically my mom, Christine Okello. Mom, I love you so much, and you have had such a positive impact on my life and on who I am today. And in all the things that I do, I see a lot of you in it. And because of that, I'm forever grateful for you being a light in my world. And I thank you, and today I celebrate you.
Yes. Christine, have you seen your children?
Yes.
I'm sure they are not with you. They are all over America. Can you tell us where they are, what they're doing, some of their names?
So one of them is Abigail. She's all the way in North Carolina. She's graduating next year. She's doing computer science. And then the other one is Chelsea. She's all the way, she works as a flight attendant all the way in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, so, and I also have my older one here. She's Elizabeth. She didn't send she's camera shy, and she's also graduating this year, and I'm just excited.
Oh, wow. We would have loved to see her. Here, shyness at Diaspora Connect is nothing. It's a small thing. But thank you very much for taking the time. And before we have to love and leave you, kindly, please, it's our tradition, send some salams, because I'm sure people from back home are like, ay, 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 Christine. So please, send some salams for us.
I know. Okay, I want to send some salams to my friends, Martha Anyango. I want to send salams to the lady who nominated me, Linda Ritchie, Mina, Flora, all the Kwitu ladies, all my church members, Hope Restorations. I want to send my salams to my crew, the ones who grew up within Eastlands, Umoja. I want to send my salams to my auntie all the way in London, Agnes, my sister Stacy. I have so many people. I want to send salams to all the loyal leaders, ladies in America, and of course, all the mothers in the world. I wish you happy Mother's Day, and keep on doing what you do, whatever life puts in your plate.
Thank you very much, Christine. Thank you for taking the time, and happy Mother's Day. And as we can tell from your kids, you're an amazing mom. So thank you very much. And as you can tell, Diaspora Connect, here to connecting the whole world, especially when it comes to right here in the hot Kenya 254. Talking about connections, we are on the hashtag Diaspora Connect on the X app at Citizen TV Kenya. That's how you can get to us. And I'm seeing all your messages. Niko na hapa Peter Murunga anasema tuned in from Riruta Satellite. Want to send a few salams to my people in Doha. Asanteni sana. Next time tuambie majina zao, ndio kila mtu apokee salamu yake mzuri. Alafu kuna John Musanga anasema, yo, Saturdays have never been better. Oh bro, shikilia hiyo story. That's so true. Saturdays have never been the same ever since Diaspora Connect came into the scene. You're saying you're watching all the way from Eldoret. Tunasema salimia wote ambao wako connected to the show. Wamepaka hiyo salamu. Also, my good friend here, Margaret, all the way from Seattle. Yes, USA in the building. She says she's having such an amazing time learning about Kenya and seeing some beautiful Kenyan faces. Asanteni sana. Talking about beautiful faces, last week on the show, maneno ilikuwa tamu kabisa because we had two kings. One of those kings we connected with was Chris Darling. He was all the way in Manchester, playing for Kenyans in the diaspora, doing the Lord's work. And then DJ John Falme was on the way to be with him and was supposed to connect with him. Unajua maneno ilikuwa mazuri sana. And the good thing is that DJ John Falme and Chris Darling, they walked around Manchester wakiangalia. Anyway, wacha nisiwaambie. Take a look.
Kenya, Nairobi, Wagwan. My name is DJ John Falme, aka Mr. Sherehe, kutoka hapa manze Manchester United, Old Trafford, and you're watching Diaspora Connect on Citizen TV every Saturday at 10 p.m. Link up manze with my boy Nevo. Peace. Shaimu alituambia kutakuwa alituambia kutakuwa na joto. Tumepigwa na baridi huku mbaya sana yani.
Kama ni vaiki tu akaniambia vaa hiyo fupi
vaa short, akatuambia vaa short, huyo akachukulia seriously.
Alafu ndio Man U imepigwa 4-3, Man U imeshindwa 4-3.
Na tumetoka Old Trafford kuona ikicheza.
Tumetoka Old Trafford kuona panya.
Wow.
Timu gani hiyo?
Wewe
umepiga picha huko?
Naona comment section.
Umejani mwana Old Trafford na ile ground ya Sabana ile gusi. Hakuna difference. Ona.
Huko wapi kuna kumeni? Old Bank the restaurant.
Wapenda
Prezo.
Yo.
Darlings.
Yo, the press, the excellence. My fans, me now wapenda. Whoa. Come to praise us, right?
So let's have come to praise us, but let's have come to Darlings.
No, Darlings is right there, but right now I'm at praise us, so come to praise us. Darlings is right there.
Tigawana.
Kuna Darlings pale bete.
Kuna praise us.
Mimi nakaanga huko na sisi na migoma juu.
Alafu atasema
sio mjini utado wapi? Kuna restaurant huko juu.
Ni God.
Are God?
I'm the only person who can get that thing. Yeah.
Yo, Wagwan. Chris Darling here, you know what? We are in Northampton. And the plan tonight, where you know where you're going, Escape Venue. Two Kings Party, I'll see you.
Yes, sir. Leo siku inaenda kuwa noma sana. Tomorrow is a holiday. So come through Manze tonight, Sunday night plan, Two Kings live at Northampton.
Hey, do you? Northampton, we're here. Escape Venue, Manze. Come through Escape Venue, Northampton tonight. Sunday, Chris Darling, DJ John Falme, Escape Venue, Two Kings Party.
Hakuna ku escape.
Sherehe mbaya.
Life ni ngumu. Hey, baridi si mchezo. We.
Tutabaki hapa juu wote.
Two Kings pale manze wanatesa sana Manchester, and I love the fact that was last week. DJ John Falme and Chris Darling were out there in Manchester, you know, playing for Kenyans there, and I love the fact that they had documented for us that amazing experience. Mwana hapo Chris Darling kidogo unajua kulala kukachapodo usingizi, and I love it. And I've seen on DJ Joy and of course Chris Darling's page that they'll be doing more tours in Europe, so I'm sure, hey, Kenyans in the diaspora, hey, munakula good, especially when it comes to June and July. Itakuwa moto sana. Also, you can connect with us. Send us those photos, those videos. Kama uko diaspora, tunataka connect with you. We're talking about connecting at Diaspora Connect KE. That is our Instagram page. Na hapo na receive your messages. Nimekwambia, go to that Instagram page right now. Send us a direct message, just like the way this is. Yes, Natty Jax akonana anasema, hi Diaspora Connect. I'm Natty Jax watching from Albany in New York. I want to shout out my young brother Lawrence and my family in Kenya. Thank you very much. Nikienda hapa kwa Nani Muriuki anasema, hi, it's Nancy from Nairobi, Kenya. Nasalimia my auntie in Dubai, but my dream country is South Korea. Hey, tuambie hata ni wapi. Unajua, speaking it into existence, you never know, you know. So hapa niko na pia Dennis anasema, yo, what's up? I'm Dennis Maina watching from Johannesburg. Hey, diaspora pia Africa. When you cross the border, uko diaspora. So Johannesburg, South Africa, salimia DJ sana. Hey, Maureen, umepata mafans? fans wa Joburg tayari. Maureen umereceive salamu. Amereceive. Mwambie I'll DM. Okay, sawa. Yo DM baadaye tumuongee. But talking about talking, you know what, every time I am on the show, siko peke yangu. I'm always with amazing guests so that, you know, we can connect, we can share our stories. And when it comes to sharing our stories, we have a story today for you. I have the amazing Susan Knapp. She's here and we're going to have such an amazing connection. Welcome to Diaspora Connect. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. I already feel very connected.
Thank you very much.
I used to live in Qatar. So of course I have connected with Qatar people, and DJ Chris and Joe used to play in Qatar.
Oh, for real? So you've experienced that vibe?
So we used to go for reggae once a month when they came.
So you'd be on the dance floor, you know, doing
Absolutely.
I see you. I love it because that is our culture right there, you know, dancing, music, connecting, it's all in one. And you yourself, Susan, you had such an amazing journey in this life. You came in Kenya back in the 90s, you know, with the teaching thing, and then you just fell in love with Kenya. Maybe for those who don't know, you know, the story about how it all went down, maybe you could tell me about it.
And it's a long story, so let me, in a nutshell. So I was born and raised in Australia.
Yes.
And as soon as I finished university in Australia, I came to Kenya. And then I never ever wanted to. From the moment
you were
landed,
like, this is home.
This is home.
I like it.
And I lived in Kenya for the whole of the 90s. Married a Kenyan.
Nice.
No,
it wasn't good. Oh,
and of course,
we need to do better. We need to up our game.
And of course, he wanted to leave.
Okay.
So we left.
You left.
And then I didn't cope. We went to Australia. He's still in Australia, but I went on other adventures.
Adventures that have been life-changing, that have changed the world, and have also made you fall deeper in love with Kenya, yes?
Absolutely. So even when I was living outside, I've lived in Qatar, I've lived in Malaysia, I've lived in Rwanda, and I was most recently back in Australia.
Oh, wow.
But Kenya has always been home, so no matter whether I've been in Kenya or outside of Kenya, Kenya has always been home. And my consistent is that Nairobi is the love of my life.
So you found another love of your life is called Nairobi.
It's called Nairobi. The safest love. The safest love, yeah.
Let me ask you about this too. So, because Australia also to me is such a wonderful country, and when I think about it, apart from, you know, the uniqueness of having koalas, you know, kangaroos, animals that are not found anywhere else in the world, that didn't alter you and be like, let me just stay home and just be, you know, here instead of going to a, you know, a foreign land where you don't know people, you know, where it's a new beginning, it's a new surrounding. Was it some kind of culture shock at first?
I actually think that the culture shock is harder going back.
Oh, okay. Tell me about
than being here. Because when you're here, things are, like you're saying, things are very vibrant and people are super friendly and there's a great energy that happens. Obviously, I have a very long experience in Nairobi, so the energy nowadays is really quite amazing. So I find the culture shock is quite often harder when I go back.
Okay.
And recently I was back for 5 years and it was really hard. It was really hard. I mean, and listening to your first guest who's talking about how hard it is outside and as a single mum, you know, one of the things that I didn't like doing was washing my own car.
Oh, so you were like, this is one of those things.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to do that. And obviously here, we have a lot of those things we take for granted here. But when you're in that day-to-day of life, they can really drag you down.
Yes. I definitely get that, and of course we are celebrating mothers, you know, so happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much.
And you know, I've just met you right now, but I can tell from your connection with you, you didn't come alone, you know, you came with your whole squad, you know, your people who make you feel good. And I love that. Talk to me about coming to Kenya and raising your kids in, because that's also something totally different.
It's totally different. So I actually have 4 children, and my 2 oldest I adopted as babies from Kenya.
Oh, wow.
So they are now 26 and 21.
Okay.
And I adopted them at 2 months and 6 months.
That's amazing.
So both of them, they grew up in Qatar, and they now live very happily in Australia. My youngest two, who are here, they were born in Qatar and spent a bit of time there, and then we went back to Australia. And I actually decided, I think that when we raise children, it's really important to understand it's not about what we can give them in terms of material items. It's more about the values that we want them to have with them,
so that they can, anytime even you're not there, they can use the same kind of lessons, teachings, and things that you have instilled with them in their own life.
And so for me, the reason why I moved back with my children was to raise them with African values.
Okay, wow.
And you'll find the best African values in Africa.
I love it. I'd love to know more about those values and, you know, going forward after, you know, Qatar, Adeline, and coming back to Kenya. And, you know, you have a really intriguing stories, and we've, you know, we're just at the cusp of it. And I love it. Diaspora Connect, it's all about connecting, and continue using that hashtag Diaspora Connect. Send us all your messages, especially when we want you to send your salams. Salams is real simple. Our WhatsApp number is right here on your screen. Send in your salams from wherever you are in the world, as long as it's beyond the borders of Kenya. Send in your salams. Say hi to a few people from around the world, and also usiogope kusalimia watu wa Rongai, watu wa Karen, watu wa Kilimani. You know, encompass everyone and put them into the mix. And talking about into the mix, I want us to leave right here. You know the good thing about Diaspora Connect, whether you have your passport or not, whether visa equal, we still take you outside of the country so that we can connect with Kenyans from across the world. And right now, I want us to go all the way, straight flight to Dallas, Texas right now. The big D, yes, the big D right now. And I want us to connect with one Kenyan who is extremely raising our flag high, and she's breaking barriers. She's a mom, she's an entrepreneur, she's a business lady, and she speaks, and we all have to listen. So, wagwan to Ivy. Hey, Ivy.
Hey.
Mambo vipi?
Niko poa, natuma salama hapo Langata.
Number 15,
Number 15, exactly.
Hapo sawa. Welcome to the show, Ivy. Let us know where you are and what time it is.
Thank you. Yes, I am in Dallas, Texas. It's 3 p.m. So, bado iko hapo tu, you know, it's a little early.
Mchana bado. Nice. Talk to me about a typical Saturday. If you weren't joining us right now on the show, what would you be doing, or where would you be conquering in this world?
You know what's so funny is I'm never home on a Saturday. Typically, I have a 12-year-old who's lurking right here in the corner, but that's fine. Come on, hurry up. We have to be on TV. So anyway, as you can see, I'm momming all the time, and we'd be on somebody's soccer field, but she's in the heart of tryout season, so we just had a random off day. Never happens.
So it's a random off day, so it's a chill. So for you, self-care kind of day.
Very much so. I'm really, full disclosure, I was taking a very good midday nap. I never get to sleep during the day. It's a gray, gloomy day. But I just wanted to make sure I wake up and do a ni.
Nice.
Connect on that. So I love the concept of this show. This is so amazing. That's so super dope.
Thank you very much. And talking about super dope, that's exactly, you know, the word super dope in the dictionary need to have Ivy right there under it, because you have conquered. And for those who don't know, let's, you know, pull it back a bit, you know. So let's tell the people from the genesis, you know, wewe ni mtu wetu wa Kenya. Talk to me about leaving home and going to the land of milk and honey and actually, you know, drinking the milk and honey.
Oh my gosh. First of all, let me just say the milk and honey cup in Nairobi. So I think there's milk and honey. There's milk and honey everywhere. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to have grown up here in Dallas. But I wouldn't be who I am, very much like Susan previously had discussed, without those values that were instilled in me. I was born and raised in Khan. I grew up in Langata, moved to Dallas at the age of 9, and I'm celebrating a birthday here actually in about 2 weeks. So it's been like 25, 26, 27 years, if you can do the math. But Definitely, very grateful to be able to have an opportunity to have been a really successful DJ, and made a lot of firsts in a lot of history in that space. And obviously, even as I transition into the media space, into the entrepreneurship space, one thing's remains certain, who I do, where I'm from, and where I do it for. So, this still very much is a guiding light, you know what I mean? Doing it for home. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand that, and I can hear it. And talk to us about a chapter in your life where, if you were to give it a title, it will be called Poison Ivy.
Oh gosh, a chapter in my life. So it's crazy. I think it's just a chapter that I'm closing, right? I think that was obviously a moniker that I use on the DJ stage, but duality is something that's very pervasive throughout the story of my life, even coming down to my citizenship, so to speak, in my identity. But the Poison Ivy chapter is a chapter that just closed. And I was just like, on the decks, on the ones and twos, and making people itch and scratching and all the things. But now I'm in my 2 bags era, right? I'm in like the 2 bags in my Ivy Winfrey era, and I'm just really embracing like all the dual roles that I feel now, like whether it's mom and entrepreneurship, whether it's, all the things, just being a motivation for other women. I'm very much embracing all the things that I am and not feeling like I have to pick. So.
Yeah, and I can totally feel that vibe. Especially, I've seen you on the court when you were Poison Ivy, Dallas Mavericks, first female DJ, killing it and doing, amazingly well. So congratulations on that. Plus, as you've said, moving on to other things like the media space. When we hear the name Winfrey, the word that comes to mind is Oprah Winfrey, and the way she's such an encouragement and a boost to women and to the general public. Is this also, are you in line with that?
That is precisely exactly what I'm alluding to. Obviously, you picked it up extremely well. But, when somebody takes us up until a certain point, somebody, has to take the baton and continue to race in true, Ken running analogy. And that's ultimately what I want to do and I want to be. And I think that what's in a name a lot. Obviously, I don't have to really explain anything when you read that name. So I was like, why don't I just rebrand and, kind of allude to what I'm looking at, the impact that I'm hoping to have, to make in my own way, obviously, but as inspired and sparked and also, trailblazed by her.
I totally understand that. And you've talked about, Oprah Winfrey is about leadership, is about empowerment. And I know you're at the forefront of that. Also, when we talk about the future of sports, talk to me about the future of sports from your perspective. Yeah,
I mean, gosh, I think sports is, if you look back into, I was just doing some homework with my daughter into, the eldest empires, right? It was something that was used not only to unite, to celebrate, to develop. We have the sports to thank for so much, for economic development, for social development, for physical. I mean, it's a 360 benefit portal. I just hope that, as a continent, that we are able to harness the benefits that the sporting industry and economy has brought to many industries all around the world, whether it be from a national pride standpoint, but also just for bettering our infrastructure, specifically for young women and specifically for girls, and not only just on the court, on the pitch, or on the fields, but also in the boardrooms and decision-making spaces. Our voices and our experiences are very valuable, and I hope that I can be an example of how to take a passion for something that unites people all around the world and use it in a very, unique way. There's so much opportunity for all of us. And so I hope that my story and my testament just makes it all that more real or concrete for the next young woman and young boy at home specifically.
Yes, for sure. And for me personally, I can tell you, you are a testimony because I've seen you, I've watched you, especially from, you know, as you said, from one chapter of your life, which is Poison Ivy, conquering it. The only place we didn't agree on was, you know, basketball teams, you know, Dallas Mavericks. I'm a Lakers person, so a bit of, you know, a bit of back and forth here and there, but, but you know, we do connect. But also, let's talk about motherhood, because you are an amazing mom. You're not only conquering it outside, but you're also conquering it in the home. So happy Mother's Day to you. Talk to us about that journey, especially raising a young man in, you know, in America.
Perfect. Well, I'm not raising a young man. I'm raising a young daughter.
A young daughter,
yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. No worries. Actually, I thank God I'm not raising a young man right now, because I think that's a completely different ball game. But no, I think to know me is to know that I'm mom first, right? Like, there's never a day where this little one, or she's not so little anymore, she's now like officially taller than me, but I just think that it's like the highest honor, highest esteem, and highest and most important job role that I'll ever occupy, and I take it very, very seriously. And I really just think the best way to influence my baby girl is time spent. So, you know, for her, like, her mom is her mom and her mom does what she does, but I ultimately just want her to be inspired to be the best version of her, to never have to live in my shadow, to never have to aspire to anything because of me. I just hope that I make her dreams a lot more tangible and possible, because I've been the example, like, practically, as if she's been able to watch me and join me and be at my side as I continue to chase mine, and just, you know, just showing her that anything is possible, and really just also be an example for other women. Like, just because you become a mother doesn't mean that your life as you know it and is a change, certainly, but I think the best thing that you can do for your children is continue to, you know, like, live your life. And yeah, and just do it really, really well.
Ah, nice. I love that. And are there any hacks for parents that you can give, especially when they're raising their kids abroad?
Well, I will say this. If anybody has any hacks, send them my way, because I need them. And by the way, it's like, DM me. It's at the Ivy Winfrey on every platform possible. No, I don't really think that there's such thing. I think that you just kind of have to really know your kid. You also just kind of have to know, look, I'm a big believer that parenting evolves, and that is dictated by the time. So I'm a very non-traditional parent, so to speak, and so there are things that, you know, people might not necessarily agree with me and or think that I'm doing it the African way or the Kenyan way, per se. Mm-hmm. I guess the only hack that I would say is do it your way. Right. And some of that might include some values and life lessons and, you know, customs and whatever have you that we got from our upbringing. But it's also okay to say, you know what, that was cool for them, but it's not cool for me. And so just do it your way.
Ah, definitely. And are there things from back home here in Kenya that, you know, you tell her about or you instill into her, especially from back home?
Yeah. Actually, I love you guys back. Yep. Okay. So, yes. Well, one, my daughter spends a lot of time with me in Kenya. We were just there actually a couple months ago.
Nice.
We were there for a long period of time. I think there's less that I can tell her. There's more that I can show her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I just do that by bringing her and letting her spend time with the people. Like, for example, it's just something really basic. Like, you know, like how we grew up in Kenya, where you just go outside and play with your friends and play with your neighbors all day. And, you know, that's like a luxury. That's something that you don't really realize, that as you move overseas, like, you know, those kinds of environments aren't as easily calculated when mama so-and-so and mama so-and-so is down the street, and, you know what I mean? Like, you just know all the neighbors. And so, yeah, I mean, I really just like to bring her home and allow her to experience the culture firsthand, because what I take away from my experience and what she takes away from immersion are completely different. But ultimately, at the end of the day, time spent and exposure will shape her. And I think that she has her own appreciation for that experience. I don't really have to tell her much, because my Kenyan experience and hers are entirely different. So I just allow her to spend as much time as we possibly can at home.
Nice. I love that. When you come back home, please, Ivy, home is also here in our studios. You know, Diaspora Connect. You have to connect with us here in studio. So when you come through, when you pull up to the 254, make sure you pass by our studios. But before we have to love and leave you, our tradition here is for, you know, tuma salamu. Niko sure kuna wase wali grow up na we pale LA Langata, kuna wase wali kuona kwa ma clubs changes nini Westi, wanataka salamu zao. Aya, peana salamu basi Ivy.
Yeah. See, this is how I'm gonna get in trouble. Imagine seeing simu yangu, otherwise ningeenda WhatsApp hapo nifanye roll call all of my chats. But no, honestly, natuma tu salam to everybody back at home, my family, wanajijuana hapo, the Mandus, the Onyangos, I have a huge family. So now PM, you know what I say, what do I need, all of that. But just thank you to you guys as a network, to Citizen, and to the entire city and country for always repping for me, always, you know, bigging me up. It means a lot. So just know who I am and what I do it for. So natuma salama apo nai in its entirety. So asanteni sana.
Hapo sawa manze. Thank you very much, Ivy, and thank you for shining like the star that you are in Dallas. Asante sana. So please receive all your flowers and the love from us back home here. We really appreciate you so much.
That means so much. I love the show. I'll make sure I tune in. This is really, really dope. I think it's an amazing concept. So I'll be tuning in.
Asante sana. Asante sana. Thank you, Ivy. Talking about Asante sana, please, we want you to continue connecting with all your families from across the world. And it's real simple. My WhatsApp line is right here on your screen. And when you send in your videos, make sure you put your phone in landscape mode so that when we display it right here on the screen, kila kitu iko nice. You see the way I'm nice? That's exactly how you'll be looking. So make sure you send your salams. But talking about salams, take a look at these salams.
Hi, Diaspora Connect. My name is Caroline Kemunto Ratemo. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. First, I'd like to shout out all mothers on this Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. I'd also like to remember my own late mother, who's gone before, Helen Nyaguche Nyakyongora. May her memory be for a blessing. Also on this day, I will remember my brother, who's also late, Shem Busir Ratemo. May his memory also be for a blessing. I'd now also like to shout out my family who's there. My father Gideon Ratemo Nyakyongora, my sister Pauline, my brother Julian, and my sister Edna, and all Kenyans. Thank you, Diaspora Connect.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are watching us tonight at Citizen Diaspora Connect. We appreciate you. May the Lord give you prosperity, good health, wealth, and more success. And we can never also forget all the mothers who are no longer with us tonight. We celebrate them. I want to pass my greetings to all the Geshero Ngatiri's family, the Wanjohi's family in Limuru, the Gashie's family in Naivasha. I appreciate you, and all the mothers there, we appreciate you. My name is Peterson Wanjohi Wairimo. I'm in London, and thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Hello, Diaspora Connect. So once again, this is Samuel Gashanja Gadara from Doha, Qatar. And my message is to my mom. My Mother's Day message is to my mom, akiwa Daiga, Nanyuki. Mom, you are my hero. I'm proud of you. I love you. Happy Mother's Day 2025. And to all the mothers around the world, I wish you a happy Mother's Day 2025.
Hey, Citizen Connect. We're connecting live from Stockholm, Sweden. And today is a beautiful day to wish my mama happy Mother's Day, Mama Evelyn, Mama Sam. And Mama, thank you for giving me life. Thank you for raising me. You helped me. You taught me, Mama. You nurtured me. You disciplined me. Most importantly, you love me unconditionally. So today I want to celebrate you. This is your day, Mama. Thank you so much. And there's no enough words to describe you, but continue being our powerful influence in my life. Thank you so much, Mama. And all other women, all other mothers in the world, young mothers, all the women, all the mothers, happy Mother's Day. May you continue enjoying this day. Thank you so much, Citizen TV, Diaspora Connect, for bringing this in. Bye-bye.
Jambo, my name is Monica from Bristol, United Kingdom. I want to take a moment to send salams to all the mothers on this Mother's Day. I want to wish Happy Mother's Day to Mama Nicole, to Mama Njomo, to Mama Keith, to Mama Blessings, to Mama Amy, to Apostle Delight, and all the other mothers. I wish you a blessed day. And I also want to wish my children who have made me a mother a wonderful day. Greetings to you, Joshua, Kyle, Tali, Aaron, and Kathy. Thank you for making me a mother. May the Lord bless you.
Happy Mother's Day. My name is Jean and I'm in Kakamega. I want to send out a Happy Mother's Day wish and send my salams to Veronica Kiju in the US, Angela Dante in the US. Also send special salams to Teresa in Dubai and to Faith and Mama Monica in the UK. Telling you all Happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Wow, I love Diaspora Connect because we are always connecting and surprising other people. So they decided, so the last salams, that was my mom. So Happy Mother's Day, Mama. That was a good surprise. But yes, Happy Mother's Day, Mama. We'll be going out tomorrow for a good dinner, you know. So Happy Mother's Day to you. I love you so much. You're my heart, you're my soul, you're my everything. Without you, I am nothing. So thank you very much, Mama. Nakupenda sana. That one was a tough one. Susan, you see the picture that to me. I love it though. This is why Diaspora Connect. Hata mimi naweza patikana just like you. We're talking about just like you. Kenyans, we are conquering. And you know, there's once a nice saying that once said that Kenyans, we did invent running. When it comes to running, it is us who are there. In the dictionary or wherever you look for your history, Kenyans are there. And right now, I want us to go all the way back to the United States of America to talk to a Kenyan champion, to talk to a star who is in the US of A. Wagwan Oscar, niaje bro?
Popo sana.
Hey bro, nafurahi sana kukuona baze, umeshine sana. Sijui ni maji ya huko, ni hewa, ni sabuni, ni mafuta. Tell us where you from and what time it is.
Niko upande wa Lee Summit, haisi ni saa 9. Inaelekea kwa saa 10. Na natoka nyumbani, natoka upande ya 10, mahali naitwa Kibendo.
Nice. Niko sure wase wa Itenu wame nice mbaya sana kukuona baze ukiwa represent to the fullest. Talk to us because tunajua wewe ni champion wetu hapa mtaani. Talk to us about the journey from, you know, hapa mtaani mpaka vile umefika huko baze na una to represent in Missouri in the right way.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, brother. Like I would say, mimi nilifika hapa 2017. Na safari yangu kuanzia nyumbani from all the way from home to United States has been so like a lot of resilience and like to say ilikuwa a lot of things up in between. So like I started the process in 2009 after I finished my high school, but it took me 7 years to be in United States. I came here as a B1 B2 visa. I was here on to represent my Kenya police at that time to run for marathon, but on the way I changed my mind to come and study, and I had to go back to Mexico for student visa at that time, and that's how my process went. Like, it's been a very long journey, and I just came here from, like, I didn't know I was gonna come here at the same point. At that time I was working as I represent Kenya police, and I just changed my mind and left my work. And
I like that. Yeah. And changing your mind, before you get to that, because as you've said, you've gone to represent, umeenda pale US, what do you see, or what do you feel, or what do you experience that makes you be like, oh, by the way, I would love to go back to school. I'd like, you know, to indulge in what is happening right here in the US.
Okay, so my journey to come to United States has been very interesting, like I said, fascinating. Like, the reason why I want to go back to school is I really wanted to be an investigator. I want to understand why some certain community or some certain people, certain age do a lot of crime. And since I was in a NPS, I wanted to use my knowledge and come and help people fight crime at home at the same time. But things change at the same time. But when I get here, I changed my mind, because when I got a scholarship, it's very rare for us to, I'm from just a very simple village. I didn't have money. But when I got a full ride to come and start and represent school, I saw this was the best opportunity for me to represent and get my degree at the same time.
That's amazing, because education systems, it's always good to get that higher learning, to get some more advantage everybody else. So I like the fact that you also chose the right kind of place that best suited you to what you want to do. So when it comes to settling in, you've already received your scholarship, you're there. Was it hard, especially the fact that you've said you're from umetoka Kenya, hapa values zetu, ukitoka nje unaweza ingia kwa kibanda, but when you're out there in the US, some of these things are not, you can't access them easily. Was there some culture shock? Talk to us about your first experiences.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, there's a lot of culture shock here. When I got here, the first thing I was shocked is the food. I'm used to ugali, chai, and everything, and then English was not our first language. We used to communicate using our local language and Swahili. So my challenge was, getting along with the food. And then my coach did understand. But the most challenging thing in my life when I got to use is my culture, my accent. I literally never spoke from one man, because I just used to not this way, because my professors were too fast. Speaking English was something difficult for me. I would understand, but speaking, when I remember when I was with my teammates, I asked them for, I say water, and then they laughed at me. I say, it's water, not water. So I was it stopped me from talking. But I had these two gentlemen from England and Scotland. They spoke British English and they understood better. As we navigate through the system, I get more understanding the difficulties and challenges we face each and every day. And I talked to my coach, and I got a Kenyan store where I can buy unga, machani chai, and some kind of biscuits, everything went smooth. But remember, I came to United States. I was coming here as a professional athlete, and I was late in a week. My challenge is getting along with the system. So we had an online class I didn't know, and at the end of the semester, the professor or the registrar will tell you if you had a good standing score or not. So my challenge is I didn't participate in discussion of online class. And do you know what? To get a master's degree, you have to have a GPA of 3.0 and above. So I had a GPA of 2.7, and now I was ineligible. And then the shocking part is when the registrar sent me a message that they were not even gonna put me on probation, but they were gonna immediately remove me from the school. But I had to appeal, and they accepted my appeal. And from then, I started learning the different how to maneuver and navigate in this country. It's kind of difficult, but as time goes, you're gonna get to learn a lot of things.
I can tell that you also have that resilient spirit of a champion, because, as you've said, guys were laughing at you, were making fun of you because of, the way you talk, because, we us as Kenyans, as we are here at home, we think we don't have an accent, but when we go out there, we interact with many different people, we realize, maybe the way we speak, maybe the way we pronounce certain words becomes a bit of a challenge. So I'm happy that you, took that extra time and even appealed, and the school heard you out, and, even your coaches listening to you, and you going out there and finding a Kenyan shop, pia ununue ka ugali. Unajua ugali muhimu sana. And were there any sana, si ndio? Ilifanya at least to feel close to him. Was ugali the only thing you were missing from back home?
No. I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss a lot of things. You know, in Kenya we have a lot of freedom. You know, here you don't have to go to people in United States we talk about my boundaries, so in my space. In Kenya we don't have space. Here you don't go close to anybody. If you happen to have that kind of scenario, somebody can just you can file a complaint and they're gonna take you to a court, and then you have to pay for ransom and for many things. So that's one thing I learned. I needed that space, like we, sisi tunachanganyana kama wa Kenya, tunakuanga pamoja, lakini hapa hapana, lazima request a space, because if you infringe someone's space, that's against the law.
I like that. You're teaching people a lot of things, because here tukipanga hata line tunataka tushikane unajua bumper to bumper kind of situation. But I love the fact that, when I'm talking to you, you're still, the Kenyan in you. I can feel that vibe and I love it, manze. And do you want to send a special Mother's Day, message? Kesho ni Mother's Day. Do you want to send a special Mother's Day episode? Also, as you give us your salams, kwa sababu hapa Diaspora Connect, it's all about connecting us. So pia tuma salamu, Oscar.
Nashukuru sana. Ningependa kutuma salamu kwa ndugu yangu Chiri akiwa nyumbani, nafikiri anatazama, na familia yangu. Niko na dada yangu Chemeli popote alipo. Kuna dada yangu mwenye ako nyumbani anaitwa Chepkoech, ndugu yangu Maina namfuata na wasalimia, na vile singependa kusahau watu wa Kipendo. Alafu kuna jamaa fulani alinisaidia sana. Singe kwa Marekani, alinipea shilingi 100, anaitwa Kiptanui Kimitei. He made a difference in my life, because nilikuwa naenda kutafuta coach fulani. He made a huge difference. His 100 shillings made a difference with me, because at that time Kenya police had not paid for us 3 months. I can call, and all my fraternity of Anin secondary school class of 2008, I say I salute you guys and thank you. I can't forget also Royal Media Services. Thank you for your time and thank you for everything. And to all those guys who are looking for scholarship, keep on doing the same thing, because chances of coming to United States is free. You don't have to pay anything. You only have to have the knowledge. And there are a lot of scholarship. Thank you so much, citizen.
Thank you very much, Oscar. You are a champion. As you're, hanging your flag there in your room, you're also, flying our flag up high, and we appreciate you so much. When you come back home, usisahau tuko na ka space. Unaona hapa? Wewe unafaa ukae hapa. Sawa? So when you come back home, make sure umepitia hapa. Sawa?
Asante sana, nashukuru, Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much, Oscar, all the way from Missouri. And as you can tell, maneno iko shwari kabisa. Continue interacting with us. Hashtag ni ile tu, Diaspora Connect, and we want to still play your salams. So kama unanisikia na maybe uko Adeline, or maybe uko Quebec, ama maybe uko Dubai, unaweza kuwa wapi pengine, Durban, South Africa, unaweza kuwa Casablanca kule Morocco, send us your salams. Make sure you put your phone in landscape mode, so that when the world is viewing you, iko shwari kabisa. And don't forget, throughout the whole week, the show doesn't stop here. Hata kesho kifilu tume salamu unaweza ituma bado. Chukua namba yetu, save it and send us all those good messages. Plus, you might be abroad, unaweza kuwa majuu, and you want to come home in a few months and you're wondering, how best can I connect my family? Tunaweza kupata aje? Right here, we can do exactly that. Tunaweza piga bonge la surprise tonight sisi sote. Sindio? And talking about a nice time, music is a universal kind of language, and my DJ Maureen Kings is up in the place to make sure kila kitu iko nice. So wacha tukule ngoma kidogo tu.
Hawataweza kukupenda. Hawataweza. Fresh is on the beat. Mbona do you have to be this way? Unajitoa from all the promises we made. You wanna blow up all the loving that we gave. Listening to he said and the she said. Uongo za mjini zimenoka. Niamini na kupenda ni wewe tu. Wakusema wachasema, usiku watalala.
place, giving us that good time that we all need. Diaspora Connect no palituko, Citizen TV. Make sure you use that hashtag Diaspora Connect. And remember to go kwenye Instagram. Our page is at Diaspora Connect KE. And I want to read some of your DMs. Sai tunacheza tu na DM nini. So I see my guy Brian hapa anasema, hi, I'm Brian from Kahawa West, wishing my lovely mom a nice happy Mother's Day. Alice Matera, happy Mother's Day. I'm blessed to be in your life. Thank you very much. Anasema, I wish to travel and stay in Canada in the near future. From your mouth to God's ears, you never know. Pia niko na mtu hapa anaitwa Kags, anasema enjoying the show from Nax. Anasema yeye dream country yake ni US of A, inafaa hivyo. Ruth pia ako ndani, big up yourself Ruth. Ruth anasema hello Ruth from Nairobi, it's an amazing show. We'll always be tuned in on Saturdays. Pia anaongezea anasema connecting here on Saturdays as usual. My salams to my auntie Hannah Omolo in Dubai, my father-in-law Kenneth from Kansas, USA, and my friend Ruth from Atlanta, Georgia. Anasema nawapenda wote. And I love that, as we said, ukikuja Diaspora Connect, iyo ni nusu ya kuonana. So you don't even need to worry. Talking about nusu ya kuonana, I've been having such an amazing guest, Susan. She's been here telling us about, the story of leaving Australia. Imagine kuacha kangaroos, unakuja Kenya, una experience the good life. Just, some good kind of vibe. And I love the fact that you are explaining to us how also you've experienced different countries. You've been in Qatar, your kids were raised there. I want also to talk about, when you talked about your kids, you talked about the adoption process. I also want to talk about that. Was it an easy process to come to Kenya, adopt kids from here, raise them, especially being from Australia?
So at the time that I adopted my children, it was quite easy. I was actually living in Kenya though. So at the time you had to be a Kenyan resident in order to be able to adopt Kenyan children. I think it's changed quite a bit now.
Yes, I'm sure right now.
Yeah, and actually the orphanage that I got my second daughter from is in Huruma. And they did an amazing thing whereby now they don't actually work with abandoned babies, they work with vulnerable mothers. And they've set up a structure where they teach the pregnant mothers, the pregnant women, microfinance, so that they put them into a position where they can keep their children.
Keep their children.
Yeah.
Because of at least you get more resources, you can take care of your people. Yes, I love that.
Absolutely.
Yes, and when you talk about raising your kids in different areas, because as you said, some of your kids adopted in Kenya, born in Qatar, some of them. And how was that process, especially bringing them back to Kenya? Because there are different values in Kenya. Australia, the values are different. Qatar, things are different. So talk to me about that process as a mom.
So, as I mentioned, my older two live in Australia.
Yes.
My younger two are both here. My son, who's 15, would rather live in Australia.
Has he come to Kenya?
He's here. He's sitting here.
I love it.
He's sitting here. We were just in Australia. In Kenya, I work with musicians. So I've just been in Australia with one of the musicians that I work with. And so my son really wanted to stay.
I love that.
My kids don't go to school. They go to the School of the World.
Oh, you have to tell us about that.
We do lots of things very differently.
Yes, talk to me about that, because I went to school, class 1 to 8, from 4, all that higher education and what that. How is it, taking your kid away from that and, instilling them or putting them in a different kind of system? So my
Son, when he was 9, came home from school and told me that he was too stupid to go. He believed he was too stupid to go to school.
I don't think my mom would agree to that.
Yeah, and so I asked him, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to quit.
Oh, wow.
So I let him.
Amazing, Mom. We can end it there.
Yeah. So he actually has his own business, which he started at the age of 10.
Wow.
He can pay his own tokens. He can pay his own rent.
That's good, that's good.
Yeah, my 11-year-old has never been to school. But Kenya is a school.
Yes, a school of life.
It's a school of life. They learn so many things. I mean, my kids can book an air ticket. They can take themselves to Australia. There's many things that I think, particularly post-COVID, We've learnt that school is not as much about educating as it is about institutionalizing.
Yeah.
And so it's very much about we as parents, what are the values and the necessities that we think our children will need in the future, not what we needed in the past.
I like that. That's really important because sometimes you might think what you got and what you receive is, you know, and I like the fact that you're doing it different. You know, you're putting, as Ivy said in the interview, she was like, do it your own way.
Absolutely. And I think even when Ivy was speaking, I think one of the greatest things that I've learned from my children is that they are the teachers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a big one for Kenyans.
If I tell my mom, I am the teacher now.
Yeah, but it's really true.
Yeah.
You know, and if we open ourselves up to our children being our teachers.
Wow. We'll open a lot of conversation and you'll learn a lot of new things.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I love that.
And we work much more collaboratively because we know that a lot of systems don't work for us as adults.
Yes.
And also for children.
For children, yeah.
But we still keep doing it.
Yeah.
So change really comes when we open ourselves up.
We open ourselves up. Yes,
yeah.
I like that. You're talking about opening yourself up. We have a segment here on the show. It's called Diaspora News.
Okay.
So this is, you know, everything happening around the world. So I want you to indulge with me as we go through this news, yes?
Okay.
So there is in Japan a culture or a service where you can rent a boyfriend, you can rent a girlfriend. If you are sad, you can rent someone to come and comfort you and put you back in a good place. What do you think about this, Susan?
So in Australia, one of the biggest social problems is loneliness. And it's a bit like what Ivy was saying. People live behind walls, they don't know their neighbours. In Kenya, we're not lonely.
Yeah, we know everybody. Mama Nani knows Mama Nani.
and I had a friend from Australia who recently visited and she said, oh, Susan, you look so amazing, you look so happy. And I said, it's because every moment of my life is filled with joy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And her response was, I can't tell you the last time I felt joy.
Hey. Joy is important in this life. You need it once or twice.
Even what you're talking about in Japan, you know, why we shouldn't actually need to rent somebody to make us feel comfort or to make us feel joy. I think that's when for me, it's about tapping back into the authenticity of the African culture. Which is not Mzungu culture.
Which is not.
It's not. It's an African
It's an African culture. Yeah. I like that. So, because some of these things that are happening around the world, we would love to adopt them, but we need to feel them out first, you know?
Yeah, and I believe Kenya holds the answer to the world's problems.
The juice that you're giving me today, I love it.
I actually believe that, and we have to teach Kenyans
We have to teach, yes, we have to know it, own it.
We have to know it.
And
because,
own it.
Yeah, if we've got people that are dying from loneliness, people that are renting a partner.
Yeah, a handsome man.
There's an issue there. There's an issue there.
I love it. So also on Diaspora News is the fact that Iceland is the only country in the world that is without mosquitoes.
How lovely.
How lovely. I know, you know, nets and all these things, it becomes a bit of a tussle here and there. But what do you think about this? Is this somewhere you would love to live? Iceland?
I will never live anywhere other than Kenya.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
But I'm planning to go, no, is it Iceland? Yeah, I think I'm planning to go there next year with one of my artists.
Okay.
But I think the mosquito thing is really interesting because there's that saying of, you know, if you don't think something small can make a difference, then just remember a mosquito. Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
So when it's buzzing in your ear at night, you remember that just that small thing can make a difference. Yeah, exactly.
Especially here in Kenya, you know, there are seasons where things get a bit tricky when it comes to mosquitoes. Also, on Diaspora News is the fact that Finland's tap water is actually the cleanest water ever. Like, it's safe to drink. You can, you know, drink it from your tap. Because right here, when I go to my tap, I'm a bit skeptical about
I'm not skeptical.
Oh, for real? You enjoy tap water?
In Kenya, in Australia, I wouldn't.
Why is that? Why would you say that?
So in Adelaide, where I come from, it's renowned for having the worst tap water in the world.
Okay.
And I always drank tap water in Kenya. Until people started then putting that.
Telling you, Susan, how can you drink tap water?
Yeah, they put it in. And look, like back in the day, you didn't get bottled water and whatever, and the tap water was amazing.
Was the one, yeah.
So now it's like water makes a lot of money.
Yeah, I totally
We need to own the water company.
To own the water. I love it. We're talking about water. This is the perfect time for you. Unajua, piga kopo la maji, have yourself your favorite drink up at pale before we get back and continue on Diaspora Connect. So we're going to take a small break, but that doesn't mean you don't use that hashtag Diaspora Connect. That doesn't mean you don't send us your salams and but we'll be back in a few.